She is terrible. She is not what we're talking about.
Welcome to my house.
What is up, y'all? It's your boy Ty here, back again with a great video right now for y'all. And I have with me
Christopher Pollock. I am a second place Froppy player from this Provisional that just came. The last Provisional in Season 2.
Yes, and I mean, I guess it's safe to say he did very well. Went against some great people. Before we begin, make sure if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do. Click that notification on so that way you'll be kept up to date and knowing when I'm releasing some new content, okay? But without further ado, let's get into this interview. What was your whole record into this, by the way? Was it like you obviously you got second place, but I'm saying like, your win, do you remember your win?
Yeah, I went 6-1-1 going into top 16. So then my final record was going to assume 10-1-1.
Wow.
At the finals.
You playing My Hero, like where did you come from? Were you always playing card games? Like tell us a little bit of that.
So I've played different card games throughout my life and everything. A lot of people started off with like Yu-Gi-Oh and everything. That's where I got my start. But I fell in love with the game when it was still UVS. Still before that it was
UFS, right? Universal
absolutely.
Fighting System. Those of y'all old heads, y'all know what that means.
Absolutely. And then the first time I ever got to see My Hero and got to realize where this game was going to be, where it is now, was when they gave out demo decks to all the stores to be able to give to other players.
So you've had that longevity of just card gaming itself, so you're obviously, and you've played in the competitive scene, so just to go a little bit more on the event itself, did you enjoy yourself with the event? Like how was the event overall? I know it was online.
Yeah, it was online. I did really enjoy some of the people that I played. I had some really great games. I met some really awesome people I've seen in the community before, and some new people that I wasn't aware of, and I just had really fun games, really great, and it was just a really fun experience throughout, even though it was online.
Yeah. Now, would you prefer online or offline? Which one did you feel like really?
I love in-person events.
Ooh,
My
okay.
first event that I ever got to go to that was a big event was actually the Orlando Regional. And I didn't get to stay and play through the whole thing, but just seeing everybody in such a big way. And actually, excuse me, the first big event, that was for My Hero. The first big event was at a 1K in Altamont.
I did meet this brother beforehand, but that's another story. We'll be here all day, but it definitely was a start of an awesome month,
Yeah, absolutely.
And this guy's been amazing. I mean, our epic battle with our favorite characters, which we really enjoyed. That was one of the things that I know you enjoyed about UFS and Universes, was that you were allowed to play the character that you really enjoyed.
Absolutely.
And had just interactions and never knew what was going to happen, and you weren't really upset with losses if you did lose, but you can definitely get some steals on wins because people didn't know what to battle against. Moving into just the event and everything else, this is one of your biggest events. I mean, you played in big events, but to do this well, have you done well before like this, or is this something that
the closest I've ever come to this sort of placing was in the first, again, online regional, that was the Set 1 regional, and I got 64th with Sato, Mr. Sugar Rush himself.
Sato.
Had some great games, but he just didn't speak to me as a character. And however, this was my first real Provisional of Set 2 that I really went in and said, I'm gonna really do the best I could. And my goal was to top in this event, make Set 2 be the event that I top in my favorite game and the game that I love. I did use Asui.
Now you had a different purpose of why you were doing it as well. Now,
yes,
we won't go too heavy into. I'm sorry, did you mouth something, sir?
Ban her was my whole goal.
Like everybody that has played with this character had had that moment. Look, there's a frog one. just look. It's not about her right now. Okay, this is about Chris. All right, it's not about her. All right, right now. While you were in it, and then after, like, what was some of the things that helped you keep going, or what was happening in your mind as a player? I don't think people understand that. Like, it's not just the character; it's the mentality of the player, because this game is taxing on your mind.
Absolutely.
So, what was your? If you can kind of take us through that, like, what was your thought process through all this?
So the biggest thing that and this isn't my first time playing Asui in an event. I played her before in a provisional, and I didn't do well at all, was not to overthink your choices, because sometimes you're going to put too many answers in your deck and you're not going to see the cards you need or want that are integral to making your deck function. What I did is I made the deck a week beforehand where I wanted it, did not touch it, did not say, well, maybe I change this, add this. I just said, this is how I'm going to play it, this is where I'm happy at it, and I said, this is what I want to do. This is what the deck is going to do. During the event, making sure that you are ready, you have snacks, you have a drink nearby, you're ready to just continue through, because sometimes your games will go all the way to time, and all of a sudden match pairings are up, and all of a sudden you're in the next game and you're running back to back to back. And that's the whole thing that happens with these big events, especially with larger events that, like regionals and everything, that can be very long events, that events are going to time, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Even if you have a loss, because I did go 6-1-1, and that actually happened around, I think, round 5 or 6 to a Dabi, of all things.
That guy caught everybody off guard.
Absolutely. Great player.
Which comes back to what we were talking about as far as just the beauty of the game.
You never know what's going to come out and surprise you.
Look, getting to the finals, like, I know you're pretty sure you had jitters.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
like, what was helping you, like, get through, like, what was that mindset? Like, how did you deal with that? Like, that was like... Because I know when I was in the tops, I had to deal with the same thing. Like, as you get closer and closer, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost there. And then you're there, and now you're like, now what?
There were games that I would finish and I would be shaking from how close they came down to how they came down to a check or the fluidity of the deck at that time. And as I got closer and closer, taking a loss and then getting a win, and then another win, and then my final round, actually round 8, was a draw. And I won game 1, game 2 was going, it was back and forth, and the final turn ended with the final attack, and I could not block it because I had he had a high, I had a low. And it just did enough that I could not block, and I ended up drawing with the opponent. Was waiting for pairings to come out where everyone was going to be, and I sat back and said, I did the best that I could. I represented the character that I knew the best going into this tournament, and making sure I was sending out the message I wanted to throughout the whole tournament.
Dope. And I think you did a great job at doing that. I think, I had messaged some guys, and some guys even talked about how well you played and everything else. So, I mean, one of your opponents was Keenan Meadows. I love that guy. Shout out to him, man. He's just incredible. And the casters did very well. Andrew Holder with Go Beyond Gaming and Phil Birch. Their channels and that whole Unfun gang, they got so much. And then, that's one of the things that was really interesting too, because a lot of people were encouraging you, like community. Like, how much would you say community is important to you?
Having the ability to look at somebody and, after a game goes not in your favor, and being able to say good luck in your next one, continue on, just shows why our community is so different and why this game is so beautiful. I also have to give a big credit to my own play group, because they were encouraging me. We were talking in between the matches. If I was on stream, they were hyping me up through the through it, and then I would see it after the after the game and seeing them hyping me through it, and just, you know, seeing Let's Go after I finally got to see what they were saying, and, you know, feeling that I had people supporting and believing in me really was beautiful.
Them
as well.
Ocala boys,
Absolutely, and girls,
and girls. That's right.
We
actually have a good bit of. We have quite a few. Not even girls, women. Sorry,
women,
men and women. You know,
boys and
boys. We're a very diverse group, young, old, you know, and it's still growing. That's what's so beautiful about this game. Like I said, last few questions that I just had for you before you gotta go is one: are we looking forward to seeing you in other events? Like, what is it done now? Are you gonna be what are you gonna set your mind on with that?
Yeah, I'll absolutely be ready to play in some more. You know, I did say that I prefer in person over online, but it is a little more difficult to travel sometimes. Yes. So the webcam events do give you the ability to play with it. Like, I got to play with some people from all different parts of the world and got to meet some wonderful people. And that's, you know, you'll definitely see me in online events that work out with my schedule and everything else like that. And if there's an in-person event close by, you'll definitely see me there as well.
With the hype season of Set 3, what do you see? What are you looking forward to, and what are you expecting to come with this new season? You know, how excited are you? What are you looking forward to?
I think I'm looking forward to seeing how these newer characters, but as we have seen already, how the new support, the new cards come out, how they will impact characters that maybe people don't even look at. And then all of a sudden, one card, one piece, all of a sudden just makes that deck just work so much better, to the point where it's now a deck that people respect and sort of go, wow, that's really impressive.
Awesome, man. So definitely, I mean, I'm hyped. I am definitely hyped. I'm ready.
I'm ready. More spoilers.
I know. I am so ready to just try out some new characters. New Shigaraki look crazy. I'm not even going to talk about them structure decks. I'll have another video for that. So lastly, do you have any shout outs for anybody else? I mean, I guess you kind of did already. You kind of already gave the shout outs to people, but if there's any specific shout outs you have, you know, you can give them real quick or whatever, man.
First one has to be really quick to the tournament organizers and the judges. Because a big part of the community and everything else like that is judges, people that are working really hard to make the game function and keeping the game fair to everybody. They don't have an easy job. Make sure that you're thanking your judges. Make sure that you're appreciating them, because they get to sit out a day of playing the game so you can enjoy it and make sure the game functions.
That's good.
And also the tournament organizers and everything else like that from this previous event.
That's awesome.
The second shout out is obviously to one of my biggest supporters, which is, you know, my fiance Gina. Gina. Sorry. As a person that gets me ready for events, she helps me play test. She helps me get into the right mindset and everything else like that. Cool. And she's also an Eraserhead main, so I get to figure out how to play without my character.
Oh, y'all gonna get to hear from her. Don't worry, y'all get to hear from her later on on the channel and stuff. I got a lot of people that you're gonna get to hear from.
And then the last one is you, Ty, because you're we're in Ocala, but you're one of the people that is always encouraging people to do their best. You are somebody who's always there in the corner, keeping people motivated, moving, giving them new ideas. I mean, you're the one that saw me play the Froppy before and said that you know how to play her. Stop limiting yourself. And I think that's another message that people need to know. Stop limiting yourself sometimes and believe in yourself. But the biggest thing is, this guy is an amazing person, and he will always encourage. And even your content, I will still watch your content and, you know, get a good kick, get inspired with something, and know that there's good things.
I appreciate you, bro. Absolutely. Thank you, man. Love you, bro. You know, thank you guys. That's Chris Pollock for you, man. Y'all, this is show on y'all for Ty's House of Cards. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope y'all enjoy it. We love you guys. Stay tuned for some more content, all right? Love you guys. Take care. Peace.